And our senior Washington correspondent Dan Raviv joining us now from the White House, where students are coming out in protest. Dan, what is their message to President Trump?
Nurit, here at the White House, it is generally students from this area, from Washington, D.C., but they certainly didn't want to be left out. First, the president is having that listening meeting in less than 2 hours. We don't know who exactly will be here, but the White House staff says there will be some from Parkland, Florida, if not the protesting activist students that we've been seeing a lot. They are generally in Florida right now, but there will be people here telling Donald Trump things that maybe he doesn't usually hear, as he's thought of as a pro-gun politician. In addition, think about this. Exactly 1 week ago, Wednesday, just before 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, this is when the shooting was taking place. The attack on that high school in Parkland, Florida, only lasted about 10 minutes. 17 people were killed. It was now, 1 week ago. Speaking of the protesters that were here, here's one of them, if you would join me. Heather Wilbanks, you're a high school student here in Washington, D.C. Why did you want to be part of this today?
I think it is very important that the youth have the opportunity to protest. We don't get to vote, and protest is really our only way to participate in democracy. These laws do affect us. Gun laws definitely affect us. Obviously, as you can see, there have been 18 shootings so far this year, school shootings, and you know, it makes us fear even in safer areas, even living in the suburbs, even living in the city. No matter where you are, it makes us fear every day we go to school.
Heather, did it cross your mind that if the president were to look out the front window or the front door, he'd see you?
Oh, I hope he does. I hope he sees us. I hope he knows that, you know, that all of these decisions that he makes will affect all of us directly.
Now, I get that you haven't been around through all the protest movements that you've heard about, the 1960s and other times, but whether it's from your parents or otherwise, have you heard that it might be different this time? You may well be listened to and change could occur?
Well, that's always the hope. Sometimes it's a little bit scary knowing that, you know, it likely won't happen. That, you know, they could just completely ignore us, but there's always the opportunity that they might hear us. There's always the opportunity that something might happen, and I think that the idea of might is definitely something that makes it worth fighting for.
At least the students you know, do they clearly know what they want? Is it banning all guns in America? Because under the Second Amendment, that won't happen.
I don't think we want to ban all guns in America. Of course, that's what some people want, but for the most part, we've kind of recognized that that's not going to happen.
So what would you like?
I would like more restrictions. I would like gun safety to be a top priority. When I was a kid, my grandpa took us hunting all the time, and we took a gun safety course. Before the first time I held a gun, I passed a gun safety course twice. And you know, a gun in a home is 48 times more likely to shoot a member of that household than an intruder because of the lack of gun safety. That when I was a kid in Arizona, a 2-year-old accidentally shot his father because he found his father's gun. Gun safety is something that's, I think, it's not just important. You can't introduce guns into a society without it.
Thank you. Heather Wilbanks, thank you. With just 1 point of what many campaigners are calling sensible gun legislation. And a lot of people will be telling President Trump their ideas in just a couple of hours here at the White House. Nurit, Calev, back to you.
All right, Dan Raviv in Washington. Great to have you with us there at the White House. And a big question really how President Donald Trump is going to react when he's face-to-face with students who want answers. And as Dan pointed to, a different audience than he's used to speaking to.
One thing that we've seen about Donald Trump is that he seems to, when it's a personal contact with an issue, sometimes he does act emotionally, and we see perhaps that happening here. So perhaps there will be some movement, but the question is moving ahead.
What next? Yeah.
The Republican Congress, we know there's going to be strong opposition to anything even beyond the most cosmetic.
And as we heard earlier from our David Schuster, those lawmakers are checking in with their constituencies now. They are checking in with their voters with what's going to work, because
primary challenges perhaps from the right. So that's going to be
a sad reality that once again it's really simple politics at this time. They have to check the politics before they actually make change on